Here's what's coming up on your horizon. So when life gives you lemons, the folks in Enid, Oklahoma know how to make lemonade. This week, we travel to North Central Oklahoma to see how through good times and bad, Enid, Oklahoma continues to innovate.
When everyone does well, then the whole community prospers.
We'll see how partnerships between industry and education is helping grow their economy.
Not only are we a big employer, impacting the economy itself, but supplying the workforce.
From agriculture to healthcare and aerospace, we'll look at innovative Enid on Oklahoma Horizon.
Oklahoma Horizon is made possible by Career Tech, a job for every Oklahoman and a workforce for every company. With additional support from the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us here on Horizon. I'm Rob McClendon. Well, Enid, Oklahoma has seen its share of setbacks. Everything from the loss of a major employer to the ups and downs of agriculture and energy. But through it all, this town of 50,000 in North Central Oklahoma has shown a remarkable resiliency thanks to a heaping helping of innovation. Today, we're going to focus on some of the lessons that can be learned from Enid, Oklahoma. And with that, here's our Courtney May.
Enid, Oklahoma. It's a growing city where mom and pop businesses are strong, yet so are large corporations. So what is the secret to Enid's successful economy?
We've done a number of public-private partnerships, and we've also tried to make sure our infrastructure is strong.
Brent Kissling is the executive director of the Enid Regional Development Alliance, an organization that plays a key role in making decisions about economic development and city expansion.
As you step back and you try to market Vance Air Force Base and the land run and entrepreneurship and wildcatting out in the oil field, it really all came back to the word adventurous. If you're a pilot going Mach 1, that's adventurous. If you're somebody in the land run, riding a horse with your hair on fire to stake your claim, that's adventurous. If you're the wildcatter, the entrepreneur that's bet everything on that next hole or that next business, that's adventurous as well. So now all of our marketing strategy revolves around that word adventurous, and we've added to that the fact that there are boundless opportunities here, that we're a very original group of folks here in town, and we have a very vibrant economy and citizenry here.
And one local business owner reaping the benefits is Jimmy Stallings, chairman for a local environmental engineering company called Envirotech. And he says Enid's support of new businesses contributes to the success of the city's economy.
We have a very inviting business climate, and what I mean by that is from our economic development groups through our city council and all the way through city staff, and then you have, we're very pro-business, and while within any municipality we have regulations and rules, we also have some very helpful people that'll help guide new businesses through some of the hurdles. And then on the culture of the business community, we have a group of businesses that recognize that if one business succeeds, it's good for everybody.
And helping fill the skills gap in Enid is Autry Technology Center. Autry partners with more than 500 businesses to ensure students in its program are trained for the jobs needed to be filled. Autry Superintendent Brady McCullough.
I think we have a tremendous impact on the economy. Not only are we a big employer, impacting the economy itself, but supplying the workforce for those businesses that we have here. We have a lot of customized training programs as well as our full-time programs that open up that pipeline of a skilled workforce to many, many companies here in the Enid and Northwest Oklahoma area. Another way that we try to stay on the edge of that is with our Executive Leadership Council. We actually meet with over 20 of the largest employers in this area on a monthly basis. During those meetings, we talk about issues that those employers face in this area.
Marty Euler is also heavily involved with the Executive Leadership Council, and she says it's the diversity of the companies in Enid that contribute to the city's continuous growth.
Enid is fortunate in that our growth has been constant and steady, and it's diverse. We don't have everything in one area. You know, we have a lot of oil and gas, we have a lot of manufacturing, education. Enid is the hub, the retail hub of Northwest Oklahoma. We support each other, we play well together, and I think that has certainly been a big part of the success of this community.
We have almost $2 billion worth of construction projects under construction today.
When everyone does well, then the whole community prospers. So if we see the retail area growth, then we know that that has to be supported with business and industry. And we are very, very fortunate to have a Chamber of Commerce, a city manager, and we also have great educational support here in Enid. And all of that comes together to support the success that we have seen in our community.
Now, such innovation is nothing new for the town of Enid. In fact, it goes back well before statehood. What began as a family store has grown over the years into the largest privately owned grain company in the state. With 5 generations of experience, W.B. Johnson Enterprises has expanded over 20 locations in Texas and Oklahoma. Now, if you'd like to learn more about these agricultural entrepreneurs, I was able to sit down with that family's patriarch a few years back, and I have that story streaming on our website under our value-added section at okhorizon.com.
You're watching Oklahoma Horizon with Rob McClendon. Weekly insight into your changing world.
Well, few towns have probably grown faster than Enid, Oklahoma. In a single day, Enid went from a population of 0 to 10,000 thanks to the Oklahoma Land Run, which is chronicled in a Smithsonian-style quality at the Cherokee Strip Regional Heritage Center in downtown Enid, which is also home to one of the most misspelled streets in the nation. After the sinking of the battleship Maine in the Spanish-American War, the Enid City Council changed the name of D Street to Maine, and that's Maine with an E, like the state the ship was named for, undoubtedly confusing postmasters nationwide. Well, located in north central Oklahoma, Enid is classified as a micropolitan hub, which means it serves people well outside the city limits with everything from retail to healthcare, something that has developed into a key component of Enid's economic success. And that is where Blaine Singletary picks up our story.
St. Mary's Regional Medical Center may be based in Enid, but the scope of their services go so much further.
We serve not only Enid and Garfield County as our primary service area, but really the 9 counties that surround Garfield County.
Stan Tatum is the CEO of the hospital. He's proud to head one of 2 major hospitals in Enid that also serve rural communities like Fairview, O'Keene, and Cheyenne.
So we actually have a service area that's about 200,000 in terms of population.
For just over 100 years, St. Mary's has helped the town of Enid become an important hub city for healthcare in northwestern Oklahoma. While many of these communities have smaller, critical access hospitals, quite often they don't have the staff or facilities to get the job done.
Anytime any of those patients need a specialist, they have to refer those to a provider that can provide a higher level of care, which is typically Enid.
That means when any of those 200,000 Oklahomans need a routine medical procedure, or the unthinkable happens, the patient and their loved ones will be able to receive a substantial treatment in a timely manner without having to go too far away.
It's very important for families to have their loved ones when they're admitted to a hospital close so that they can either stay with them or visit them multiple times a day. If we were not here, that would be another hour and a half for them to have to drive to Oklahoma City. And so it's very important that we have these services that are close to their home so that they can, see their loved ones on a regular basis.
And they give personal attention to each and every one of those 200,000 whenever they walk through the door, or even the parking lot, with rides being given by the Saint-Mobiles. And everyone, up to the CEO, takes part in making sure their patients are getting the most of their care.
The benefit of that is that there's a lot fewer needs to hit the call button, so the nurses are trying to anticipate the patient's need as opposed to react to them.
St. Mary's also boasts an inpatient rehabilitation institute. One of a kind for this area, it gives some important treatments to people with debilitating illnesses. Lori McMillan is the director.
We have patients that come up here that have had strokes and brain injuries, a variety of other kinds of medical illnesses. So the emphasis is really on physical, occupational, and speech therapy, trying to get those people back home after they've been ill.
A facility like this one is not only good for their patients, but for those who are training and budding as medical professionals.
We actually attract students from outside areas as well as students from the Enid area to fill these positions.
And that touches on another big way regional hospitals benefit the Enid community, the economy.
You're bringing people in who maybe wouldn't have lived in Enid before, but they become consumers and have dollars to spend in the Enid community. So, that's a big contributor, I think, to our economy.
With St. Mary's and nearby Integris Hospital ranking in the top 5 employers in Enid, Stan Tatum agrees.
Because when people look to locate their business in a particular community, the two predominant things they look at is the education system for the kids and the healthcare providers that you have in town. And if you don't have those, it's a major deterrent for new business coming to Enid.
These kinds of hospitals bring a slice of big city healthcare in a small town sentiment. This closely knit community and team know how to keep moving forward, addressing any obstacle in their way.
We have a meeting every Monday morning to talk about challenges and issues that we face, and we strategize with our board and our medical executive committee about things that we need to do to be successful. And it's a new crisis every day, it seems like, that we have to address. And I'd like to think it's that group decision that has made us successful.
Still to come on Oklahoma Horizon. We meet an Oklahoman whose career has a second verse. But first, a high-flying industry.
Well, Enid, Oklahoma has long had its eye on the sky. Clyde Cessna, founder of Cessna Aircraft, was born in Enid and test flew his first airplanes over the Great Salt Plains. Enid native and astronaut Owen K. Garrett spent 2 months orbiting the Earth during a Skylab 3 mission in 1973. While today, 1/3 of all the Air Force pilots get their training at Enid's Vance Air Force Base, which is also a major employer for the area. And it's an aviation legacy that extends the industry. Austin Moore takes us inside Aircraft Structures International.
Accidents happen. And when they do, we find the nearest body shop. That's all well and good if you drive a Chevy or a Ford. But when your vehicle of choice is a Cessna Caravan, there is a shop here in Oklahoma that services the world.
The one we're standing in front of was originally an airplane in Colombia in the military. The other one behind us over here was from Indonesia. It crashed on the side of a mountain, and we had a crew that we sent over, and it literally was helicoptered off the side of the mountain. They had to recover it that way because there was no roads to where this airplane was from.
Scott Bingston manages Aircraft Structures International, an Enid company where they specialize in rebuilding this aviation workhorse.
We're one of the unique places in the world. The factory builds them up in Wichita. They've got tooling, but we're about the only other place in the world that you can get this kind of level of work done.
Owner Mickey Stowers says his company has found a niche in the aircraft industry.
We deal exclusively with that one airplane. The first one came out in 1985, and they're still in production today. There's roughly 3,000 of them, and they produce about 100 a year. And we do everything with this aircraft. You give us a data plate, we can build an airplane.
That ability means even during a recession, this company stays aloft.
Airplanes are workhorses, so they're not parking them when the financial crunch hits. They just keep working. So we found a niche and we're sticking with it.
But that steady supply of work demands a steady workforce.
Enid is a great town, but unless you have been here and know a lot about it, from the outside looking in, the perception is it's small town America.
Posing a challenge to finding and keeping skilled employees.
We've found in the past when we bring somebody in and they're not local, they might stay here and they find a better opportunity somewhere else, they're gone. If they're local, they don't want to go anywhere, they stay here. So it's a stable workforce.
Yet the work done here is unique and requires special skills. So the company approached Autry Technology Center. Partnering with Mid-Del Tech, they built a program to homegrown workers for this homegrown company. Autry Technology Center's Kyle Hockmeyer.
Giving them a trade or a skill, and not only just giving them that skill, but actually helping them be placed into the job, which helped the company expand. So it's full circle of what we're trying to do, and it all comes together in this one program.
Instructor Bill Hersey takes his students through every rivet of the aircraft.
They know where it goes and why, not just, well, just do it that way because I told you to do it. This way they actually see where it fits on the product they're making. They're going to install it also.
We've furnished an airframe, which will never fly again, and they're drilling it apart and putting it back together several times so that when they finish with their course, hopefully we can put them right to work here.
Student Devin Grubb appreciates the security of this program.
There's good benefits and good people. They got good staff here, so everyone's pretty friendly, even though we're just new people.
That's a point of pride for co-owner Kay Stowers.
There's opportunities for our people here that they need the opportunity to have a good career, not just a job. And that's what we work really hard to make sure that they have a good career.
A partnership looking to help students, an employer, and the local economy all take flight.
Well, Enid is also home to Woodring Regional Airport that was named after Lieutenant Irvin A. Burt Woodring, an Enid native who was one of the Army's most famous early test pilots. Now, Enid was also home to a World War II pilot who witnessed probably the most significant event of the last century. While most Enid residents knew Walter Sheffey as their friendly neighborhood pharmacist, the late Mr. Sheffey was also the pilot of the Yokohama Yo-Yo, whose crew photographed the first atomic bomb and its aftermath just moments after it exploded.
People have asked me, well, what did you think when you saw the bomb, the results of the bomb? I really only thought of one thing. The war's over and I'm going to get to go home.
Now, Mr. Sheffey's story is one of my personal favorites, and if you'd like to see the entire piece, I have it streaming on our website under our Value Added section.
Horizon is at your fingertips. Join us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to catch the segments you may have missed and our latest new content as it happens.
Well, here's a little more Enid trivia you may not know. The town of Enid produces more Philly cheesesteak sandwiches than any other town in the world, even Philadelphia, thanks to workers at the Advanced Pierre Food Company. Advanced Pierre is also the largest producer of school lunch food in the entire United States. Well, Enid is also home to the state's longest running symphony. The Enid Symphony Orchestra has played each year since 1905, 2 years before Oklahoma statehood, which is where we met a gentleman by the name of Mike Meisner, an accomplished musician whose life has taken on a different note.
From the outside of this building, you can hear the Enid Symphony Orchestra, a typical concert warm-up. But for one man, it is his life's passion.
Music started clear back when I was about 5 years old.
Mike Meisner plays French horn in the Enid Symphony Orchestra and has quite a musical history. But the road to today's symphony wasn't always a sweet melody.
I was offered a full 4-year scholarship to Southwestern Oklahoma State University in Weatherford, and that was to be a music major, to pursue a bachelor's in music education. So I went to Southwestern and had a really good education there. And then after 2 years, I decided, well, I want to get more into the orchestral side of playing.
Meisner auditioned at Indiana University, the top music school in the world, and was accepted.
But due to financial constraints, I'm paying out-of-state tuition and all that, couldn't afford to go. So I then transferred to Oklahoma State and finished out my degree there. Had a really great time, really great education, wonderful people to work with. And then it came time for graduate school, because what I wanted to do more than anything was to be a full-time college music professor.
A profession that demands a lot of time and money just to get started.
Ended up going to the University of Texas. I received my master's degree in 1993. And when you apply for college jobs and whatnot, they say, master's required, but doctorate strongly preferred. So I ended up staying there at the University of Texas for my doctorate in musical arts, and was a grad assistant there for a total of 5 years. And then in 2001, I did finally finish the degree. And then I thought, okay, I'm all set here, and now I've got all the degrees, I've got all the armament, now let's go out and get that job.
But after more than 8 years of either no responses or only part-time positions, Meisner says his tune needed changing.
I was up here in Enid, this is my hometown. I just happened to look down there, and this was in the automotive waiting room, I just happened to look down there where they have the magazines and whatnot, and there was an Autry-Tech catalog. And I saw where there was a network administration program. And so I just made the decision that, okay, I was going to come here and learn a new career. And so that's what I did. I went back to Austin, I said goodbye to everybody, and 2 weeks later, I was up here in Enid.
Back at home and back in school, Meisner began to learn the ins and outs of computers and IT systems. And once completed with his training, this time the job search was much different because the offers kept rolling in. An agency placed Meisner with his current employer, Integris Baptist Health.
I'm getting more and more responsibilities every day. I'm now on the Employee Advisory Council.
But what about his passion for music?
I still have it. I still have it. When I arrived back in Enid, I called Doug Newell, who was the conductor of the Enid Symphony. And I had known Doug for years and years. And I said, hey, I said, are you needing a horn player for the symphony? And he just said, sure. He says, your third horn chair is waiting for you. Just like, when I left. So there it was sitting for me, and I've been playing with him ever since, and still am, still there.
And it is here where his heart, his passion, and his music have come together. Mike Meisner is back in his hometown, making a good living, while playing his heart out and still living his musical dream.
Want to see more stories like this? All our segments are streaming on our YouTube channel at Oklahoma Horizon TV.
Next time on Oklahoma Horizon, we'll examine what current belt tightening at the state capitol could mean for state services.
We've got a long haul ahead of us, but we've known that for months.
We basically have pitted core functions of government against each other.
Plus, we'll see how some work this summer can keep you warm this winter. That and more on Oklahoma Show for the Heartland, Oklahoma Horizon. Well, that is going to wrap us up for today, but you can see more of any of our stories on our website at okhorizon.com. You can follow us throughout the week on Twitter at OK Horizon TV, or you can just become a Horizon fan on Facebook. I'm Rob McClendon. Thanks for including us in your day. Hope to see you back here next week.
Oklahoma Horizon is made possible by the Oklahoma Department of Career and Technology Education. Oklahoma's Career Tech provides nationally recognized technical education. Career Tech elevates the economy, helping Oklahomans get great jobs. Career Tech connects thousands of qualified graduates with thriving Oklahoma businesses. Career Tech also gives Oklahoma companies training and services that help them become even more profitable. Oklahoma's Career Tech, a job for every Oklahoman and a workforce for every company. And the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry.